2nd Street. It's a new week, and that means it's a new week for comic books. And you know what? Hey, it's the week before Christmas, so you know what? There's not a whole lot of comic books out there this week. There's not a whole lot of them. Let me see. Ooh, that looks like that's a little low for you all. There we go. That might be a little bit better. There we go. There we go. Maybe that's a little bit better. I don't know. I don't remember adjusting anything, but hey, who knows? Who knows how it goes? There we go. Maybe we can let me know how it sounds for you. Looks like it's peeking into the red a little bit. Let me turn it down. Okay, right there. I think we're about right there. Thank you all so much for being here today. I hope you're all having a very good day. I hope you had a great weekend, and I hope you're ready for Christmas this weekend. If you celebrate Christmas, maybe you don't. If you don't, that's all good. Maybe you celebrate Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, or any of the others. Maybe you don't even celebrate. It's all good. It's all good. Either way, I hope you're having a very good day. I hope you're having a great weekend. I hope you're ready for another great week of comic books. And you know, speaking of which, before I get into talking about some of the new comic books that I'm going to be picking up this week, I want to know from you what's on your comic book pull list. Are there any books that you're picking up this week? Are there any crowdfunding comics that you are picking up this week? I'll tell you one thing for sure is here on this channel, here at the 2nd Street Marvel, we support crowdfunding comics, and the Myrtle Maniacs, if you'd like to become a channel member, the Myrtle Maniacs are helping support independent creators by crowdfunding comics. So we've got some videos coming up on that because I've been trying to think of this way to do some videos for that with the crowdfunding comics and how that exactly is going to work. And how I'm going to interweave and intertwine the Myrtle Maniacs all into that. And you know what? I think I found the perfect way. I think I found a pretty good way. So anyway, look forward to some of those coming up. And you know, it's been quite a year, guys. And you know, like, I apologize for the lack of actual videos here lately, but it's because, like, this, in case you don't know, I run my own business, and this time of year is absolutely bonkers for me. This last couple weeks has been absolutely crazy, and been some long days. I'm dragging, but not dragon breath. So hey, that's got it. Dang it! What's this? This thing gonna make me? I think it's gonna make me mad. Okay, so yeah. Yeah, this is the home stretch. Pretty much after Christmas, you know, nobody wants to see my ass for a couple weeks doing what I do on my business. Some people do, admittedly, but most people, they're snacked out. They've had enough. The holidays, but of course, this year might be a little bit different with everybody. Social distancing and things like that. You know, plenty of people aren't getting together with their family, traveling or anything like that this year, and hey, I get it. I know a lot of people haven't felt as festive this year, and hey, that's all fair because that's the kind of year that it's been for pretty much everybody, and I completely get it. I mean, hey, we all know, right? We know. But anyway, let me know what's on your comic book pull list this week, and we'll get into some of the comic books that I have coming up for the week. Let me see here. See if I can get this up on here. Oh, I think we may have it. All right. So here we go. Let's get into some of the comic books I'm pulling for the week now. As always, starting off with DC, then we move into Marvel, and then we get into some indie comic books. And you know what? Last week was a very great week for me, speaking of which, before we get into that, because last week I only had 2 books from Marvel and DC on my comic book pull list last week. That's right. I only had 2 issues, and you know what? I felt good. I came home and I was psyched up, hyped up, ready for wildin', standing in a crowd of girls like an island. Wait, no, I'm starting to sing a song. Never mind. Anyway, I was so hyped last week because there was so many great comic books, and you know what? There's only one by Marvel, one by DC, and you know what? I felt great about it. And I haven't got through all of my stack yet this week, but you know what? I will tell you one thing. Every single book I read, I was hyped up and ready to read. I read them, and they were all great. Great books. It was a good week in comics last week, let me tell you. And we've got another good week coming up for you. So, let's see what we've got this week. Starting off, we've got Dark Knight's Death Metal. What is this one? What is this one called? This is one isn't issue number 6. This one is no, it's not the last stories of the. It's that Dark Knight's Death Metal. It's probably a one shot. It's probably gonna cost $5.99, $6.99. Either way, all good because there's only this issue left. I think there's an issue next week. I think there's one after that, and it's done. Death Metal is done. And then there's only one issue left of Deceased, Dead Planet, and it's done. And then when it comes to as far as DC Comics, there'll be no more on my pull list. And it's all good. And believe me when I say it's not, none of them have been bad or anything. I know a lot of people don't like the Dark Knight's Death Metal, have been very critical of it. All good. But I don't know. It's been interesting. I can see where this story is going, leading into DC Future State, which they're getting ready to start in January and February. And don't think that I won't read some of those comics and bring you guys some reviews on some of those things, because I'm interested in that. And believe me, there's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of people out there who are going to say that they don't like it. They claim to not like it. They don't want this DC Future State. But you know what? They're going to go out there and read it. They're going to go out there and read it just so they can get on YouTube and bitch about it. And you know what? That's okay. That's okay. But don't think I won't laugh. Don't think when you're sitting there bitching about your DC Future State that I'm going to be sitting there going, hey man, you knew what it was going to be. You knew it was a snake and it bit you. It's your own fault. But that's okay, because that's what some people like to do. And people are invested in some of these stories. Some people actually like DC. You know, they want to read DC. DC only. So that's what they're going to do. Love it or hate it, they're going to probably support DC and read those books anyway. And that's all fair. Me, just not really into it. You know, you guys know here, I've been kind of backing away from the DCs and the Marvels of the world. Yeah, I have been. So, hey, one of the last ones coming up right here. And believe me, I've enjoyed this series so far. It hasn't been that bad. It hasn't been, but I get where some people wouldn't like it. Moving on into Marvel, we got Excalibur. What is this? Issue number 16? 16 of Excalibur. I'll probably read this one and review it. I'm not sure that I'm actually going to get this one. I've been pretty much buying a lot of these series and everything, but Ten of Swords ended, everything's going the way it's been going. You know, I'm more into the indies anyway. I'll still probably read this and review it. As far as pulling, I don't know. I'll probably wait for trades. We'll probably wait for them trades. But Excalibur overall, it hasn't been terrible. It has been great. I don't know. I guess we'll see how it is. Moving on, that's all I have for DC and Marvel. 2 books again this week. And you know what? That signals almost like last week, and it makes me feel like, oh man, what a week it's gonna be in comic books. Speaking of which, got this book right here coming out from Ablaze Comics. This is the Sumerian Volume 1. These are based on the original stories of Conan. And this is coming out, and it's in a hardcover format, and I believe it's in a bigger format book. Let me see. I think. Give me a second. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's going to be a little bit bigger, like this one. I think. See where like you can see like right here you got this comic book right here, and it's sized comparatively to that book right there. Yeah. So I think it's going to be a bigger one like that. So yeah, can't wait to get that in. The Sumerian, and check that out because I didn't read all of that. I don't think I read any of that first volume. So gonna see how that is. Moving on into Aftershock Comics, one of my favorite comic book publishers. We got Miles to Go, issue number 3. I really enjoyed this story. It's almost like kind of like Black Widow, but not quite Black Widow. It's like no Red Room or anything like that. This young lady, or this woman was taken, you know, basically as a child. She was kind of brought into being an assassin. She got into the assassination business when she was a kid, and now she's no longer doing that, I guess you could say. She has a family. She has a daughter. And she's split from her ex. They're not, I don't know that they were necessarily married, but we see, like in the first issue, they were getting ready to go out on a date, kind of rekindled the flames a little bit. And one thing led to another, and it didn't happen. But I've enjoyed Miles to Go. Now, I don't know all the specifics, but the writer here, B. Claymore, I think this book is pretty good, but apparently the writer here has a little bit of controversy behind him, some other stuff, and I don't really need to get into, but it had to do with some crowdfunding comic books and stuff like that, and um, yeah, I don't know. Regardless of all that, I think Miles to Go is a pretty good story. You know, that's kind of the risk in crowdfunding comic books. To be quite honest with you guys, and like I said, the Myrtle Maniacs are crowdfunding comics, and I've been lucky enough that the crowdfunding projects that we have backed have been successful, and they have got their books delivered and to us and on time. We're going to have reviews coming up for that. And part of what we're going to do is I want to show you the value of crowdfunding comics, because believe me when I say crowdfunding comics can be expensive. Moving on. The next one on Behemoth Comics. Now, I'm telling you, I got to see if I can get issue number 1 from my LCS, or if they ordered it or what. But there's A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night, issue number 2. I'm telling you, have you seen this movie, A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night? This movie is great. Great movie. Love this movie. When I watched it, I was like, oof, man, I don't know what it is about this movie. It's like, it's a really great movie. I'm not really big, and you guys know I'm not really big into vampires and all that stuff. And this movie, it's about vampires, but it's not really about vampires neither. It's kind of a coming of age story. It's kind of I don't know. It's different. It's a good one. It's a very good one. I like this movie. Can't wait to get this book in, and it's coming out on a trade paperback too, so we'll see if we can get that. Moving into AWA Upshot, Grendel, Kentucky, issue number 4 of 4. I love this book. This is another good one as well. Where Grendel, Kentucky, they got a Grendel there that is kind of taken over these. They basically have to keep this Grendel happy, keep it fed with people, otherwise, so their crops can grow. It almost reminds me, almost like the plot kinda over on Vault Comics, but it's different. I mean, it's different, but like, yeah, it's crazy. Like, you ever see that movie Homefront with Jason Statham? Remember that movie, Homefront? This book reminds me a lot of that, but like from the James Franco side of the story. Yeah, kind of reminds me of that. But they're dealing with a Grendel here, and yeah, just it's pretty cool. There's like this family marijuana business, and anyway, I think you get it. Good stuff. Boom Studios got Something Is Killing the Children, issue number 13 coming out this week. I gotta tell you, man, this is one of those series. Again, there's a lot of these books out there, and this is why I'm glad I'm going more indies. That they kind of get me like where I'm like, nah, I'm gonna stop pulling it. I don't know how long I'm gonna keep pulling it. This is one of those books. This one, and the other one on Boom Studios, which is Once and Future. I keep saying like, yeah, I don't know, like it like especially like this one, because this one was originally I think supposed to be like a 5-6 issue miniseries, and it got extended. I think the same thing actually happened with Once and Future, and you know what? All good. But I remember when that was happening, I was like, yeah, I don't know, man. Like, how long is this gonna go on? How long am I gonna keep reading it? And you know what? I've really enjoyed Something Is Killing the Children. There's some like I think this series so far they could have probably like I wouldn't say necessarily skipped over a couple of issues, but there's some of the stuff they could have cut back on. Like this story could be further along if you ask me, but altogether I've really enjoyed it. It just seems like it's been kind of a slow burn, and even slow burn is the wrong word for it. There's just like they're kind of stringing you along when I don't feel like they necessarily have to, but it's been really good. Kind of like Once in Future. I've enjoyed it, and I just read what was it, issue number 14 of Once in Future. Another great book. We'll get into that in just a minute. But coming out on Image Comics, we got The Department. The Department of Cancel Culture and Confirmation Bias, issue number 4, coming out this week. I've thought this book was okay, but again, I mean, there's a lot of people out there talking about this book, and they're like saying, "Oh, this book is so great. It's about conspiracy theories and blah blah blah." It's not though. It's really not. This comic book is about cancel culture and confirmation bias. And then conspiracy theories. Like the cancel culture and confirmation bias become the conspiracy theories. That's what it is. Interesting book. Interesting book. Another one of my favorite comic books, Ice Cream Man, issue, what is this, number 22 already? Moving right along, man. Issue number 22 of Ice Cream Man, and look at that cover. That's a great cover, right? You think that's a good cover? Look at this one. Boom! Oh, damn! Look at that fire! Woo! Boy, look at that. Hey, that's not strawberry topping on there. That's not strawberry syrup. That's not cherry syrup neither. That's, you get it, right? Moving on. Got the Scumbag. What is this issue? Is this issue number 3 already of the Scumbag? This series, it's okay, but it's very tropey. It's very tropey. But hey, we'll read. I'm probably gonna go on this series through probably about issue 5. See how it is. It's I don't know. We'll see. The next one on Vault Comics. One of my favorite publishers, guys. This new book from Dan Waters, The Picture of Everything Else. And look at that cover. Like, that's me. I'm like, oh, dude. And plus, you got Dan Waters on this book. Sold. Dan Waters just did Homesick Pilots on Image Comics a couple of weeks ago. Came out. Very good book. He was also doing the other one that I read on Image Comics as well. It was called... Ooh, what was that one called? All of a sudden, I forget. Coffin Bound. Another really great book. I can't wait to read this one and look at some of these fire covers coming out for. Ooh, look at that cover, man. That's sick. That's sick. And look at that one. Look at that one. Man, I can't remember who did it, but like on the cover here. Looks like Chase Blaine, like from the plot. It's like the guy. I know, right? Oh, see what you're doing over there, Vault Comics. We got your eye. Oh, and look at that one. Ooh, look at that fire cover. I don't know, man. That's pretty sick. And then we also got on Vault Comics Shadow Service issue number 5, if I am not mistaken. I think this is the last book. They might have issue number 6 coming out on this. But Shadow Service has been a really pretty good book. I've liked it. It's like got to do with like magic and kind of vampires. No, not vampire, but like just like stuff like that. And I'm not really in like the whole magic and all that stuff, but this book has been pretty damn good. I like it. And they've even got, of course, they've got this alternate cover, the Rebecca Isaacs cover as well. Look at that. That's a pretty fire cover. I've enjoyed Shadow Service as well. And if I am not mistaken, I believe that is all of the comic books that I have coming out this week. I would like to know from you what's on your comic book pull list, and if there's any of these books you would like me to do some more deeper dives on here on the channel, let me know, because those books are pretty much the ones I'm going to be bringing home and reviewing this week. So let's get into the live chats and see what you are all saying here today. We got BurkeTheNerd, Louis the 13th, Chillmonger, how are you doing? Park Outdoors, Yova Rodz, how are you doing? ReeferMan Reviews, my man. Let's see. Glendale, Kentucky is amazing fun. Absolutely. Thank you all so much for being here. Yes, and smash that like button, said Burke. Let's see. We got Will Morgan in the house. All right. What is up, motherfucking Will Morgan? Yeah. Christopher Barker says, reading Batman Nightmares by Tom King. All right. Good deal. Yeah, I was going to say, I know some people don't like Tom King and, they're sick of Tom King on the Batman. But, hey, good deal, man. Good deal. Let me know how that is, Christopher. Thank you so much for being here. Let's see. Christopher Barker says, cancel culture book sounds incredibly cringe. It's actually a pretty good book, but a lot of people, like I said, are saying that it's about conspiracy theories. But it's not really. Like, it's framed like it's about conspiracy theories, right? But really what it is it's ultimately the Department of Truth is simply manipulating what gets out in the news and becomes headlines through what they feel should be there and what they feel is conspiracy theories. So essentially it's what they deem conspiracy theory or truth or not, or what they let get through the cracks or not. It's ultimately coming down to confirmation bias and cancel culture. If there's something they don't like, the Department of Truth decides, no, not getting any credibility, we can just shut this down. Or we can let this gain traction, become a conspiracy theory, and become a truth, right? And we see how that's actually playing into the world. It's actually very interesting. But the book itself, it's not about conspiracy theories. It's definitely about cancel culture and confirmation bias. Beautiful Ice Cream Man, absolutely, man, absolutely. Ice Cream Man is great. Chillmonger says, "Oh, Lethal Lightning with a $2 super chat, my brother." Says, "Can't tune in today, so have $2. Tom King." Oh man, thank you so much, Lethal Lightning. Yeah, guys, go check out Lethal Lightning's channel, man. If you guys, chances are, if you're here, you probably heard about him, but go check him out. Especially like on Saturdays, and he started doing it an hour earlier too. From when Wes and Thinking Critical, when they go live on Saturday mornings. But he does the full Aussie on Saturday mornings. Very very good show if you're into adult and crude humor. So you can take it. Go check him out, man. Go check him out. Thank you so much for being here, Lethal. And thank you so much for the $2 Aussie super chat. My brother from down under. That almost sounds bad, doesn't it? Anyway. Chillmonger says, "I legit thought it was ice cream syrup." Yeah. Yeah, nah, it's blood. Yeah, all good. All right. When are we ever going to have a community live stream? Eric, I'm telling you, I've got some stuff that I have to that I have to get sorted out. I've got some things, some upgrades and stuff to do because things like we're gonna do it soon. We're gonna do it soon. We'll put it to you that way. Don't worry, Eric. We'll do it, and don't worry. You'll be there, be part of it. Hopefully you don't miss it. Hopefully you don't miss it. But right now, this time of year, just not. I can't like right now. But here over the next couple of weeks, we're gonna get some things sorted out. And maybe into this new year, we're gonna get into doing a little bit more of that. Yes. But don't worry, Eric. And don't quit reminding me. You did it wrong. You're supposed to say, come on in here and say, let's have a community stream right now. Come on, man. Come on, man. No, but we're gonna start doing them. We're gonna start doing them. Especially once we get into WandaVision. When we get into WandaVision, we're totally gonna be doing that stuff. When it comes into WandaVision, we're probably going to bring some guests in here for sure. We're going to have some good times. We're going to laugh it up. We're going to throw some theories around. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. Landon TLB, thank you so much for being here. Christopher Barker says, "Are you looking forward to Wonder Woman 1984? Absolutely. I thought the first Wonder Woman was pretty good. Could it be better? Absolutely. Could be better if Gal Gadot was a good actor. Yeah, she's a good actor. She's just not a great one. It could be better, but she does the role pretty good. Patty Jenkins, I think, is a good director, and I think she does a good job with the movie she's done. Like the first one, I thought was very good. There are obviously, like I said, things that could be better about it. But in all, I'm waiting for it. You know, like I was ready to go out and see it in the theater back in August. I was ready to go see it whenever they wanted to push back to it. I'm ready to go see it in a theater anytime. But yeah, I'm ready for it. And more than anything, you know, it's something great coming up here for Christmas to give us. Right before, a couple weeks out from WandaVision. Woo! And I'm telling you. And what about last week with that last episode of The Mandalorian? Oh, man. The noise it's caused, right? Oh, man. It's interesting. It's been an interesting few days ever since the release of that last episode of The Mandalorian, has it not? Hasn't been interesting? I've really enjoyed what's been going on here over this time. It's been very good. Been very good. I've enjoyed the Mandalorian and all that stuff. The Wonder Woman, absolutely waiting for. Even like the Snyder Cut coming out. I got HBO Max because through AT&T, they do all that stuff. So hey, that's supposed to be coming soon. I can't wait to watch that either. Good stuff. And especially, with like the Disney Plus stuff, I really cannot wait for that. I'm really big into the MCU. Like getting like the MCU is kind of what got me. Well, not kind of, but is what got me back into reading comics again. Well, that and a couple of years ago, in case you don't know, I was few years ago almost at this point. I was out bike riding and I crashed and I was out of commission for like 10 days. Had to go into surgery and everything. So. But in that 10-day period from when I crashed to when I was back on my bike, I started reading comics again. I got on Marvel Unlimited. I'm like, oh hey, because I wanted to look up the whole Hydra Cap stuff, right? I was like, I remember, a lot of people were upset about that. I want to see what that was all about. So I went back and I picked up an issue. I was like, okay, like it's definitely in this issue. So I went back and I read more of the Captain America. Steve Rogers Captain America. I read the Sam Wilson Captain America, and then I started reading that, but I was like, I need to go back before that. So I went back even a little bit further. I think I picked up right after Remender's run of Captain America, the Dimension Z stuff. It was right after that, which was right after he basically had handed off the mantle to the shield to Sam. And so I read all that, going to Pleasant Hill and everything. I like pretty much from Pleasant Hill to like current like everything that was on Marvel Unlimited that went on during Pleasant Hill, I read like all of those storylines, like all of the storylines that tied into it. And then I went into Civil War 2. I read all the books that tied into that. And then after that, I read all the books that tied into Secret Empire, pretty much all up till now. And I gotta tell you, that's what got me back into reading comic books. And I liked a lot of those storylines. Was it all great? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Some of it was kind of like, I don't see the appeal. But altogether, that's kind of what got me back into. That's what got me back into reading again. Was some of that newer stuff, and and which has therefore made me want to go back and read some older stuff too, man. Gal Gadot is the best Wonder Woman. I think killing Ares was a mistake. Maybe so. And here's the one thing I'll definitely give the Warner Brothers and their DC movies is that they went there with the full CG bad guys. Like they kind of went there first, really. Like the full on trying to make them look like humanoid kind of. They took that risk first more so. I feel like they did that risk more so first than Marvel did, because Marvel was still they had Red Skull and some of that stuff. I mean, I guess you could argue the Incredible Hulk had for one Hulk, but the fully rendered Abomination. But it seems like DC went there and it's with all the bad guys. I'm like, I'm okay with that. Was it great looking and all good the whole time? No, but I thought it was good. But as far as Gal Gadot best Wonder Woman, I don't know. And here's the thing: is who out there in this time frame when Wonder Woman was made would have been a better candidate? That's something I ask myself. I think Gal does a great job for what this role so far has asked out of her. But here's part of the thing too: is I think that Patty Jenkins played to Gal Gadot's strengths. And the whole first movie was that whole kind of fish out of water story, so she could get away with that whole kind of naivete about her character, and all that stuff. And then when she come in like the Justice League and all that stuff, she grew into it a little more. She wasn't as naive and everything. She get it a little more, but I don't know that Gal Gadot, her acting is I think is definitely TV show level good and maybe movie level good, but the thing is she's not great at expressing all the emotions and stuff like that, emoting more so than anything, and that's something that's very very imperative to an actor, and I just don't think she's quite there yet. I think she has the potential to be. I mean, here's the thing is she's a very beautiful woman, so she's got that going for her no matter what. You know what I mean? You can't if there's somebody out there that says like she's ugly or hideous or anything like that, they're lying and they're full of it, okay? But she's just not a great actor. She's a good actor. She gets the job done. But yeah. Best, and yeah, like I said, I don't know who could be better. I know that, what's her name? Adrienne Palicki? The girl from, from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. She was getting ready, like, you can even look it up, I think it's even on IMDb. They were actually going to do a Wonder Woman show, I believe, or maybe they were just casting for a movie or something. They did a costume test with her in it. Maybe it was a pilot they did. They were going to have her come in and do it. And I'm like, I think she would actually be really good too. But again, I don't know that she is that much better of an actor than Gal Gadot is. I mean, I think she's a little better. I think she is a little bit better. But I would have to see her. And again, a lot of that comes through work and working with the right directors and stuff like that. But I think she would have been a good choice too. I mean, either way, I don't think they made a bad choice. It's just, I want to see some improvement out of her. I want to see some improvement out of her for sure. Chillmonger says, Casca Reeves greater than Boba Fett. Which one's Casca? It's Casca Reeves. You got me on that one. Christopher Barker says, I find it annoying that all the fandom ministers are complaining how Luke in The Mandalorian isn't the same Luke in The Last Jedi. Well, sure it is. But yeah, I mean, hey, everybody's entitled to have their opinion and like what they do and don't like. I think what's been crazy is seeing how so many people are enjoying it and embracing it. And I was talking about this on Friday on the Trailer Park Live. We really went into that, but like where you see some people really embracing it and enjoying it, some people kind of justifying their enjoyment of it and things like that. Hey, no matter what way you feel about it, all good. But yeah, and that's the thing is like, when I was talking about that on Fridays, here's the thing is like, no matter what, it's okay to be critical of stuff. It's okay to not like stuff. But at some point, I still see some of the people out there who are in like complete denial. And like, here's the thing is, you want an improvement in something. I think they've kind of proven that they're coming out and they're really making an improvement in the Star Wars franchise. Can anybody really deny that? They're making improvements. They're working hard to try to make those improvements, to try to make people happy and bring people back in. They're doing it. Okay? Now, I get some people just don't want to let them score points. Some people just don't want to let them score points. And you got to let them score points, You got to let them score points, right? You wanted better. They're getting better. They can't undo what they've already done. You hear that same thing, people out there like, oh, they need to take and they need to, is that a little bit better? No, that's not better. It just gave me more glare, didn't it? Here, let's, it just gave more glare. Do I have, oh, there we go. Sorry, there we go. That should be better. You gotta let them score points though. You want an improvement. That's all you need. A little bit at a time. Are they gonna? But like I said, there's that whole thing going around there. Like, oh, they should retcon the sequel trilogy. Like, come on, that's ridiculous. Like they're gonna say like, okay, we're gonna take our IP and like the stuff that we made. We're just gonna sweep it under the rug. I mean, if you don't like them, all fair and good. Which I'm not a huge fan. But like for them to sweep it under the rug and act like it never happened, to retcon it out of existence, cover your ears, earmuffs, but it's fucking ridiculous, But I think what they're doing is they're going in the right direction. So the people who want to be highly critical and not like it, all fair, all good. You don't like they're already turned away. It's just like the Brie Larson thing, right? It's just like the Brie Larson thing with Captain Marvel. Most of the people who don't like Captain Marvel and hate on it, it's because of Brie Larson. It's not anything to do with the movie. Well, aside from maybe the Rotten Tomatoes thing, right? Anyway, the point being is most of those people didn't like it and weren't gonna like it because of Brie Larson and what she said in that Women in Films award ceremony. They're automatically turned away, and all fair. Hey, I get it. So there's that to go with that, you know. So they're already pre-set up to have people not like it, and that's kind of what's going on here. And look, there's nothing wrong with that. People are entitled to have their own opinions on this stuff, and yeah, like I said, you like it, you don't, all good, all good. I'm not gonna say that you gotta like something you don't like. You know what I mean? I'd rather you tell me that you don't like it, and let's talk about why, and then let's move forward, right? You don't have to keep on with the whole. You don't have to keep on with it, right? Which is just like I was saying about the comic books. You know, last week was such a great week in comic books. You know, because I didn't have some of those comic books where I felt like I had to read and buy and all that stuff. You know, those Marvel and those DCs of the world. There was only one of each, and just kind of. It's great. And here's the thing: is like most of them, I don't gripe about or bitch about because most of them aren't that bad that I have to do that. But like, I'm just like, all right, good. Like, all the ones I have here are ones I'm psyched to read. You know? Yeah. And that's good. That's good. And, you know, like I was saying, you know, like, I'm not sure if you guys know The Doctor. Follow him on Twitter, and he's always on, like, Wes's channel on Thinking Critical, and they talk about comic books, but they largely, a lot of times, they're bitching about X-Men and stuff like that. Apparently, they bitch about a lot about Tom King Batman, too. I don't know. But look, here's the thing. You're free to criticize and not like whatever you want. It's all good. But you know, like the doctor today, you know, on Twitter this morning, I can't remember, posted something and he replied. I'm like, oh, it was about Colin Bunn. He's like, Colin Bunn, yeah, all right. And I'm like, well, like, let me see. And I listed off a few Colin Bunn books he's done. Like, these are all great books. So like, what you're saying to me doesn't hold water. And he's like, well, maybe like, okay, maybe just the superhero books. I'm like, there you go. There you go. That very well could, because I haven't really read a whole lot of his books, except for he did those Venom tie-ins in the War of the Realms last year. Was that last year? Year before? And they were, but I'm not a big Venom fan. So the thing is he could be very right, because I was started thinking about that. Is like, maybe it's actually those characters from Marvel, from DC, that are the problem more so than the writer. And is that us as fans, or is that them as creators? Right? Because us as fans, we don't want them to do new things with the characters. We want it to be the character and all, you know, and all that stuff. And a lot of the writers feel like they have to do something, or they got to inject their own story or their own struggle or whatever into the books. And I think that therein lies the problem. But at the same time, that is also the thing that you want. You want something new, something different. But it's got to be in character. Now, that's why I think, and largely I haven't heard a whole lot of complaints about like the Star Wars comic books, but why I think what they need to do is bring in some of the more independent creators and get some good writers in there. And there's going to be growing pains, but get some of those indie writers in there to write some of those new books and see how they do. And I'm not talking about DC Future State, but get some of them in there. Because, like I said, I'm not saying there's anything wrong. I haven't heard major complaints about the Star Wars books, but Michael Morisi is a great writer. He's been doing a lot of independent books. He's wrote some of my favorite comic books here over these last couple of years. And he loves Star Wars. He's been doing some of the Star Wars adventure books for IDW. Why not give him a shot at something? I've seen other smaller creators brought into Marvel, you know, given some of these, you know, these little titles here and there, given something, you know, it's time to switch it up. And maybe the best way for them to do that is to scale back on what they're doing and really keep to a core of characters, like a core of ongoing titles, and kind of, you know, end whatever story arcs are going on, and then do some mini-series with these characters. Do some mini-series with these characters, with these writers, so you get a 5-issue series. See how it does. Like, okay, like, you'll know after the first few issues, oh, this series is doing good. Let's plan for, you know, this, like, get this arc done, and we can see how it does here, and then carry on with that. But the editors absolutely have to do their job and make sure that it's actually a great story that you want to put out. Not just like, oh, hey, it's Spider-Man. Oh, and it's a writer that we're used to, is a good writer, right? Hey, just let it go on through. Just let it go on through. You can't do that. You can't do that. Nope. No passing the buck. Eric Heine says, Trinity, have you read any of the Civil War or Infinity War comics? I heard they're really awesome. Are you talking about like the Infinity, like the original Infinity, like the Infinity Gauntlet story, like Infinity Gauntlet, like from the, was that in the 80s? I think I read all six. I think it was only 6 books, and then after that they had the Infinity Watch. I read all of the. I read those. I haven't read the original Civil War. I need to go back and read that, but I haven't read the original Civil War, no. And that's one of the ones that's like, I don't even want to go back and read it. I just want to go buy it. I need to own it on a trade paperback. But yeah, I've heard they're really good too. She fought Boba. Oh, okay, the one that fought Boba. All right, I gotcha. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. You calm down, Chillmar. You're trying to trigger me. She did kick his butt, though. She kicked his butt. The Book of Boba Fett. Yeah, I'm telling you, like, that Book of Boba Fett, like, when he came out, I was talking about this on Friday. When he came out and sat on that throne, it reminded me of Conan. It gave me real Conan vibes. And I'm like, ooh, if they go, like, the Conan route with that shit, ooh, damn. Right? Because it looked, I mean, did that not look Conan-ish? Like, it really reminded me of Conan. I thought it was great. But yeah, is live. Santa is live. Oh, yeah. All right, take it easy, ReeferMan. Yeah, like Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau. Yeah, absolutely, guys. Make sure you go, if you guys aren't already subscribed to Star Wars Santa, he is going live. He's actually live right now. He just went live at 9 o'clock. Or that's 9 my time, I guess. For some of you guys out there on the East Coast, that's what, noon? Noonish? Yeah, noon. So make sure you go check out Star Wars Santa. He's a small creator. He's growing. Go support Star Wars Santa. I'm getting ready to wrap up here in just a few minutes anyway. So make sure that you go check him out. Yova Rodz says, like Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau. Yeah. Christopher Barker says, Second Street, I was reading Wonder Woman 1984 reviews on IMDb. Results are either it's boring or being compared to Superman for the Quest for Peace. Yikes. Well, here's one thing I'll tell you, Christopher Barker. One thing I absolutely do not do is, when it comes to films, I don't take anybody's word for it. Nobody. For me, like, there's credible sources out there for people that I will listen to if they said that they enjoy the movies, but I'll tell you one thing. Ain't none of them got YouTube channels. Ain't none of them on social media like that reviewing movies. They're friends of mine that I trust their taste in movies. Anybody else, like here on YouTube, those pros out there, any of the people on IMDb or Tomatoes or whatever they call that, I don't take any of their word for it. None of them. I don't take anybody's word for what's good. Especially because, you hear all these people, they're talking about movies and like, oh, this movie's so overrated. Well, overrated by who? Overrated by some asshole who works for Variety? Or the Rolling Stone? Or is a tomato critic? No. And I've brought this up time and time and time again. And this is one reason why I say that Brie Larson wasn't completely wrong. Just the way she said it. I'm telling you, go buy the Matrix trilogy, alright? And listen to the commentary tracks. They should have 3 different ones on there. Listen to the one from the critics. Listen to the commentary. And believe me, I watched like the full commentary on all 3 of these movies. It's been a while. But like the whole time I'm sitting there like, seriously? These are the guys that are writing like the movie critics? Some of the shit they're talking about in those commentaries, I'm like, Are you dumb? Like, are you stupid? I couldn't take your word to say whether a movie is good or not just based on what you've said in this commentary track. Like, I don't think, like, it sounds like you have your head shoved way up your cornhole. And that in itself. So anybody that's on YouTube, that's on Twitter, that's on the Tomatoes, that's on the IMDb's, can't take their word for it. And a matter of fact, don't take my word for it. All right? Because here's the same thing: is I have my bias. You know, I have my bias, what I do and what I don't like. Now, here's the thing: I will tell you that when it comes to like movies and stuff like that, I'm pretty damn open. I've watched a bunch of great movies in my lifetime. I've watched a bunch of shitty movies in my lifetime, and I've watched some movies that I think are pretty good. A lot of people are calling complete dog shit, and I'm like, I've seen worse. I've seen way worse. And even some of those worst movies that I've seen are still actually good in their own right. You know, a lot of movies really are. So a lot of people, you know, when it comes to the reviews, I mean, a lot of people put so much of their bias in it. Like, I can't really take their word for it, right? And like I said, I wouldn't suggest you take my word for it neither. You have to watch it yourself. You have to judge for yourself. I don't care who it is on the internet. I don't care. Look, we could go down the list of people that I have disagreements on their breakdowns of movies or TV shows. You want to go down the list of people? We could go down the list of people. If you wanted to. But, like, there's nobody that I can say here on YouTube, here on the Twitches, on the Tweeters, on the Facebook, on the anything, that I can take their word for what is good. For if a movie is good. For if a comic book is good. Most of the time, I have to read it for myself. And also because some people, especially on YouTube, they play it up and church it up and interact because they want clicks and views, or maybe they got their own thing to push. Hey, all good. You do what you got to do. But for the most part, I can't take anybody's word for it. I feel like I've gone on a little bit too long about this. But the point being is you always have to look at something for your own opinion, to form your own opinion. Other than that, I mean, it's just confirmation bias, right? Anyway, moving on. Aggressively Relaxing says, Chillmonger is speaking facts. That jetpack judo throw made Ronda Rousey set up and take notice. Absolutely. I know. Yeah. Yova Rodz says, I understood Star Wars theory. What do you mean? I don't understand what you mean. I understood Star Wars theory. I don't know what that means. I mean, I've never watched Star Wars theory, to be honest with you. I've never watched it. I've never watched his channel. I know he's like YouTube's biggest Star Wars content creator, but other than that, I've never watched his channel. I've seen clips where people are talking about some of the stuff he's done, but I've never watched his channel. Peter Ferris says, I'm in England, different time zone. Oh, all right. Yeah. All right. So it's right. I think you're like 8 hours ahead of me. So it's like late afternoon for you. Late afternoon. BurkeTheNerd says, hey man, just been listening in. If you do a community stream, I would love to chat with you. Absolutely, Burke. You'll be there. Chill, manga is laughing. See you, Trent. All right, Will Morgan, take it easy, man. You're probably already gone anyway. Yeah, great stream. Thank you. Matrix. Truly, what do you think about the Justice League Snyder Cut on HBO Max? Well, it's not out yet, but I'll watch it. You said Star Wars Santa. I thought it was Star Wars Theory. Oh, all right, yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, Santa. Yeah, all good. But anyway, guys, that's all I've got for today's show. Thank you so much for being here. Like I said, it's a really busy week. Busy times for me, so I apologize again for the lack of actual videos coming out here on the channel. Look forward to some coming up. Definitely after this week, gonna have plenty of time to get some stuff put into production for you all, and especially because getting forward into this new year, you guys know I'm a bigger MCU fan than I am like the Star Wars stuff that's going on right now. Believe me, I love the Star Wars and all that stuff, but the stuff that I really get sweaty about and keeps me awake at night is the MCU and all that MCU goodness we've got coming up. I'm salivating just thinking about it. But anyway, you all have a good day, and we'll see you in the next video. Make sure you go out and read some awesome comic books and support your local comic book shop this week. Until then, later.